The member for Longman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer update the House on the Morrison government's stable and certain budget management and record jobs growth? Is the Treasurer aware of any threats to Australians getting ahead?
The Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Longman for his question and note his strong commitment to small business, having worked extensively in that sector, and the fact that in his electorate more than 60,000 taxpayers will get a tax cut as a result of the tax package that passed the parliament with the support of this side of the House, Mr Speaker. And more than 13,000 small businesses will be able to access the extended instant asset write-off which we announced in the budget of this year, Mr Speaker. Now, the Australian economy is in its 29th consecutive year of economic growth. We face some major challenges with the drought domestically and the global trade tensions, which are like a dark cloud over the global economy. But, Mr Speaker, we've maintained our AAA credit rating. We have brought welfare dependency down to a 30-year low, and we've delivered the first balanced budget in 11 years, Mr Speaker. A balanced budget and a surplus budget in 2019-2020, which will help build the resilience of the Australian economy, so that gives us the fiscal flexibility to respond to external shocks whenever they may occur, Mr Speaker. But the reason why our economy and the reason why our budget has remained strong is because of the employment growth, Mr Speaker. Over 300,000 jobs being created over the last year, Mr Speaker. A record number of Australians who are in work, a record number of women who are in work, Mr Speaker. And over the last 3 years, every single month, we have seen jobs growth. That is the first time that has occurred in recorded history, Mr Speaker, in terms of the Australian economy. And today there was a NAB small business survey, Mr Speaker, which looks at the business conditions for small business, which showed the biggest jump in small business conditions since 2013, Mr Speaker, for the September quarter. Now, Mr Speaker, I'm asked, are there any alternative approaches?
Members on my
member
left.
for Rankin, who we know likes to tax a lot, Mr Speaker, the member for Rankin, we know likes to tax a lot, sits by and smiles when Labor still has on its books $387 billion of higher taxes, Mr Speaker. $387 billion of higher taxes, a housing and a retirees tax, which he said he was proud and pleased of, Mr Speaker. Now, the Labor Party often described the small business as the top end of town. Mr Speaker, the member for Rankin was the worst offender, more than 300 times, Mr Speaker, and we know they describe retirees, Mr Speaker, as receiving welfare for the wealthy. Well, the reality is, when the member for McMahon asked the people of Australia to vote against the Labor Party if they didn't like these policies, they took it literally, Mr Speaker.